Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our regularly scheduled November 19th Watsonville City Council meeting. We're certainly glad to see you this evening, and that light rain that's falling outside as well is certainly welcome. We'll start out this evening with roll call, and we have our deputy clerk filling in this evening, Erwin Ortiz.
Bilicic.
Present.
Cervantes.
Here.
Kaufman Gomez.
Present.
Dodge.
Here.
Hernandez.
Here.
Montesino.
Here.
Hurst.
Here. Thank you very much. If I could ask Chief of Police Solano to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and welcome back, Chief. It's great to see you. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Chief. We have a relatively light but important agenda this evening, so let's move right into it. But first, let me announce the translation services. For those needing translation, the devices are over by the translation booth. Bienvenidos a todos. Buenas noches, buenas tardes. Para usar los aparatos de interpretación en español, tengo un aparato de la mesa junta de la casa de interpretación. Préndelo y use el canal 0. Cuágaselo en el cuello con el fuente hacia afuera. Si no puede oír, revise que el aparato está encendido y sin obstrucciones. Solo funciona adentro de la cámara del concilio. Regrésalo antes de partir. Disculpe, no habla bien español.
Getting better, getting better.
There are a few things I'll probably miss on the council in the role of mayor, but that may not be one of them. Let's go to oral communications from the public, and then we'll hear oral communications from the city council. These are items that are not on our agenda this evening. So if you don't have an agenda and you would like to have an agenda, they're right outside by the entryway. And of course, we ask you to, all speakers, to fill out a blue card with your name and an appropriate information on that, and leave that on the table by the microphone so that we have an accurate depiction of who said what and to whom. So we'll start out with oral communications from members of the public, items not on our agenda.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Marilyn Garrett, and all I want is a healthy environment free of all this microwave radiation, which is cancer-causing. And I see some beautiful children here, and it's most important that they have a healthy learning and working environment, wherever they are, wherever we are. And this is a basic fact about wireless technology. It's microwave radiation. That's a fact. It's in the range of microwave radiation. The county health officer in 2012 wrote about this. It's also weapons technology. It came out of World War II. And I recommend people check out Barry Trower. So here's some basic facts. Wherever these cell towers are going up, they're emitting microwave radiation. And surveys around the world consistently disclose that there are health impacts due to proximity to these cell towers, like increased cancer incidence, cardiovascular problems, memory loss, sleep disturbances, headaches, fatigue. And one place, you want to show this again, that they're putting this up is the Baptist Church right next to EA Hall School, 101 Madison, has microwave radiation from cell towers that are put in the belfry that are being installed. It's for Verizon 4G. You used to have a setback from schools in your ordinance so that you can put that down, thank you, so that this would not be going on. There's also a cell tower plan for your city, Vista Montana Park, 90 foot tall by AT&T. This should be nipped in the bud. The city should not be harming residents for ever what minuscule amount of blood money you may be getting to have a cell tower there. We want health. The county health officer in 2012 wrote a report called Health Risks Associated with Smart Meters, and it really deals with other wireless technology. And she extrapolates, she said we don't have that many studies on smart meters. She extrapolates from the surveys, from the studies, the research on cell phones, Wi-Fi, cell towers, and recommends ways to reduce these exposures. I'm going to leave you with a copy of this and also invite you tomorrow night to see a film about this topic called Take Back Your Power, Investigating the Smart Grid. There's a huge section in there on health and cancer clusters like at San Diego State University around cell towers on campus. There's another section there that shows the blood cells of people, samples that were taken of people before they were put in front of these pulse microwave radiation, so-called smart meters. They looked pretty normal before. Afterwards, every person who was sampled shows oxidative stress and damage. Tomorrow night, Santa Cruz Live Oak Grange, 7 o'clock. That's 1900 17th Avenue. Thank you for your time, and I will look forward to any leaders who are actually protecting the public health and removing these sources of known harm. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Garrett. You can leave the material with Roxanne, and she'll make sure the council gets that. That reminds me that we request that all audience members put their cell phone on mute or turn them off so that we don't be bombarded with your ringtones. Anyone else wishing to address the council on items that are not on our agenda this evening? Please step to the microphone, announce your name for the public record.
My name is Christopher Lang, and did any of you do your homework? Yeah.
Good evening, Mr. Lang.
You looked at the website? Anyone? Not one of you. I see how it is.
It's on my honey-do list.
I can see how seriously you're taking this, you know, as kids are shooting each other out there on the streets, and you know, we're sending people to foreign countries, the media's releasing people and kill them. You don't believe it, do you? You think that that's the way it's always been, that's the way it always will be. Wrong. We're going to have peace here in Watsonville. Non-violent peace. And I'm going to give you the key. Right tonight. And it'll be real easy to remember, but you got to remember to use it. The key is love. You know, I've stood on a hill and watched the people fight back and forth, and even when the police come, you can't tell the police from the gangs, you know, they're all carrying guns. But we can do it. And, you know, if you want to get rid of me, if you get tired of looking at me, just come to peace. And I'll be on my way. But until then, I'm going to keep on you and keep on you and keep on you. Because I know, you know, like, I think hear people say it's 85% people of a Latin nature in this town. Well, to be honest with you, from a German's point of view, you guys are really pretty poor at violence. But you're world famous for love. Latin lovers are famous around the world. And that's why I know that you're going to be really good at it. You're going to be good at this peaceful, nonviolent thing. And it's fun. Before I got into it, I didn't have tears of joy one time. Now sometimes I keep a little bottle with a little funnel. So when I get tears of joy, I can collect them in this little bottle just to splash around on things, Come on. Nobody was ringing my phone off the hook, went to the website. Oh, yeah, okay, I see what's going on here. How can we implement this? Oh, yeah, Christopher Lang said he'd volunteer. Let's call him up. Not a single call from any one of you. That tells me that you just don't believe it. It's true, though. You can do it. You can actually quit killing each other and killing people in foreign countries. In fact, I know that Watsonville can actually be the model. They might have to change their name to Freedom, but whatever it takes, do it. It's worth it. I would love to see you guys all crying tears of joy at some meeting, because you actually felt it in you, and if you just made a picture in your mind of peace, and use some symbology, use a dove, and just start filling yourself with it. Well, by the time your heart is full of dove, you'll be love and peace for sure. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Lang. You're always welcome. Anyone else who would like to address the council on items that are not on our agenda this evening? This is the appropriate time. Seeing no one else approaching the microphone for oral communications, let's turn this over to the council for their oral communications. Council members, any announcements? Councilmember Bilicich?
Well, I'll start this morning with the Community Hero Awards that took place right here in the council chambers. There was not a seat empty. People standing along the walls, and many people were recognized in our community. It was really nice, nice celebration, sponsored by United Way, and Mayor Hurst was the co-MC of the event, and it really was a great event to see people recognized for what they've done in our community in various areas. I also wanted to thank the planning department and Fire Chief Bisbee for attending the Bay Village Homeowners Association. That was they have an annual meeting. It was held last Saturday, and several residents were there wanting to know a lot of information. And the chief helped, the planning department helped, and they also wanted to know about the levy and insurance and possible rate increases. A lot of concern there. And I'm glad that city staff took time to come and speak to the residents of Bay Village. I think that's it for now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other council members wish to comment on oral communications?
Who would you like to go next, Mayor?
Go ahead.
Sounds well. Thank you.
Councilmember Kaufman Gomez.
Thank you. I wanted to let the community know that we had one of our, an author, a Pulitzer Prize-winning author that came and spoke at the Mello Center, and it was very well received with regarding a story, Enrique's journey, and that had to do with a young boy that was migrating from El Salvador to the United States and in search of his mother that had migrated here for a better life. And it was an eloquently put together story that she did quite a bit of research about. So it was very nice to see that our community was able to come together and listen to her as a speaker, as well as having that as part of the curriculum that our students have in this school, to learn a little bit more about the process of some that have come and immigrated over to the United States. The other two things I want to bring is Papas is an organization that's celebrating a 10-year anniversary, of which the city has supported, and they're having an event that will be on, I think, Sunday the 8th of December. If anybody's interested, they can let me know. But it's just congratulations for an organization really helping a lot of the single fathers in our community with their children and the resources. The other item, which is helping out with some of the children, I see a couple children that are in the audience here, and that's the Train to Christmastown. And this is a 1-hour event that will take place Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and it'll probably go from 4 o'clock with maybe 3 or 4 trips to Christmastown that takes off over on Ohlone, and it's across from the Second Harvest Food Bank. And tickets for that are between $17 and $29. So this is time for us to get out in the community, enjoy something special with our kids, make it a tradition for our community with the rail lines that have been involved with our dialogue here and projects that are bringing it into town here. Anyway, so I just thought I'd like to share that because it is getting close to that season, and it'd be good to take your kids out for something like that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Dodge, did you have your hand up?
Yes, sir. Mr. Mayor, thank you very much for allowing me to keep my remarks short this evening. I just want to welcome somebody that's very special to me. My granddaughter is here this evening. She's here on assignment in her first grade class at Lynn Scott School to look at government. And I spend many hours away from, as we all do, for many hours away from home in service to our community. And I really didn't think I'd have the day where I'd look out into the audience and see my grandchildren. So I wanted to acknowledge her in a positive manner, Michelle Dodge, who's in attendance with us today. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Hernandez.
Yes, I just want to say that I had the privilege of attending the Watsonville Youth Council the other day. And, you know, it's always a great opportunity. It's great that we have, you know, such a young group of young leaders here in the community. I really want to commend them for all the work that they do. They actually provide a lot of assistance to, you know, even to the council and to a lot of the departments like the police department. So I really want to commend them. You know, they're the ones that should be on the front pages of the paper and the Sentinel and the Register Prohoronian. And we have actually some members here of the Youth Council right now. So I want to thank you guys. I also want to thank a few people that have been doing great work in the community. They're consistently, you know, volunteering their efforts all the time to make Watsonville a better place. One of them is from the Monterey Bay Mural Projects, Paul D. He's been doing tremendous work here, you know, on his own time, doing a mural project in the alleyways. If you guys have the opportunity to visit them, what's the real name of the street, the alleyway?
They're working their way towards Waters Alley.
Waters Alley, which is kind of parallel with Lincoln by 7-Eleven. Take a look at them. It's a really beautiful project they got going on. Also, there's somebody that in our community, his name is Robert Ash, that has volunteered to maintain youth sports programs in Watsonville. And I think he's a vital asset to our community because, you know, youth sports is something that gets children when they're young, and it molds them, it gives them character. And I think it's really important work that he's been doing. I see him everywhere. He's at the Applebee's breakfasts for the boosters. He's at every game I see him at, you know, fundraising all the time for youth sports. So I really want to, you know, commend his work that he's been doing. I want to mention a few events that are happening. Some of them are already been talked about. The first one is happening pretty soon with Assemblymember Alejo. I'll actually let Vice Mayor talk a little bit more details, but there's going to be another Watsonville Forward event that was really great. The last one was really great, so I'm looking forward to this next one coming up December 3rd. The other thing that's coming up is the Watsonville holiday tree. I don't know if you guys seen some of the stuff on the paper already or drove by downtown, but they're going to have the giant Christmas tree right there in downtown. They're going to have a snow day. They're going to have a petting zoo, and it's all going to be here in the downtown historic plaza. So, you know, take a look at it. That's going to happen. It's going to happen on December 8th. It begins. And the other thing's the Christmas train that's coming. That's going to be really exciting. I don't know if you guys have the flyers, but they're all over town. Pick one up. One of the things that's really great is all these events are actually happening in District 1, which I'm, really happy about. So I want to encourage you guys to participate in these things. These kinds of events are the kind of events that help build communities. So I think it's really important that we participate in these type of events. The other thing, also in District 1, is they're having the Thanksgiving breakfast at McDonald's, and I encourage everyone to participate, either help out or go for a meal. It's going to be on Thursday, November 28th, here at the one by Target. So that's happening at, Thursday, November 28th. That's it. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Anyone else from the council wish to address us on items not on the agenda? Mayor Pro Tem.
I did also want to commend the Watsonville Youth City Council members that we have here. We have Councilmember Sixtos and Councilmember Berenice Valentin. I don't know if you two want to stand up, but I do want to highlight your efforts. And they held their first public meeting of the year yesterday, and all of the new council members were sworn in, so congratulations to all of you. And I did want to mention that last year their focus was on collecting surveys with young people in the community, asking them about their own visions for the city, as well as current perceptions that they feel regarding public safety and youth organized events. So they presented some of their next steps following that initial research, and they indicated to us that they want to host and organize a youth day in the Watsonville Plaza. All youth-led, and also highlighting the youth talent locally, as well as reaching out to youth about higher education, providing a scholarship fair. So if there's others in the community that would like to support the Watsonville Youth City Council on that organization of that large event, please get in touch with them. I know that they would appreciate any sort of resources that can go towards that effort. And the other focus of the Watsonville Youth City Council was also to help us shift perceptions about the city of Watsonville, and I think that it coincides with many efforts that we have about revitalizing downtown and just sort of changing the perception that is Watsonville and highlighting a lot of the positive, beginning with the young people in our community. So thank you for that.
And thank you very much. As was previously mentioned, the Community Assessment Project did meet here today with United Way, and the heroes were recognized. But there's a great study that has been done, and it's a big, thick book. This is just a summary. And it spells out the discrepancies and the differences in the demographic and economic and educational profile and the health profile of members of our valley as compared to other Santa Cruz County members. And so I urge everyone to take a look at this and see the differences and of course ask why and why not. So that's the Community Assessment Project. Also in today's paper you see that Judge Deneen Guy is leaving our courthouse downstairs. And she's with the Juvenile Dependency Court. She's done a fabulous job right here in our community, and we're going to miss her a lot, but we're going to have an excellent replacement in Audie Simons, and she's going to, it'll be a hard act for both of them to follow, and we look forward to that kind of direct service to members of our community. As you've heard or seen, the tree is up. The tree is in the plaza. The downtown plaza. Take a look at it when you drive by. It's not lit yet, but it will be soon. and it was a smooth delivery, and we're very grateful to the anonymous donor who helps provide that tree. I think that concludes my remarks at this time. Moving on then to our consent agenda. We have 3 items on the consent agenda, items 4.1, 4.2, and 4.3. Motion by Dodge to move consent,
Second.
and a second by Montesino. Let me just say on item 4.3, this is a resolution appointing Sylvia M. Diaz to the Personnel Commission. I want to thank Ms. Diaz a great deal. The Personnel Commission is an important commission. It doesn't get the volume of meetings that some of the other commissions do, but their work is extremely important, and anyone who's served on it knows that. And so I look forward to your support for Sylvia Diaz, Personnel Commission. Any discussion on the consent items? Seeing none, could we have a roll call on the consent agenda, please? Items 4.1, 4.2, and 4.3.
Bilicic,
Yes.
Cervantes,
Yes.
Kaufman Gomez,
Yes.
Dodge, Hernandez,
Yes.
Montesino,
Yes.
Hurst.
Yes, and so approved and ordered. This takes us to our item on new business. This is the presentation of the gavel to Mayor Hurst by Mayor Pro Tem Cervantes. You know, there's always a lot of people who like to present me a gavel, but sometimes they want to use a little too hard on my head. So, wherever you wish, it's your presentation.
Sure, let's go down.
Thank you. This kind of feels like the long walk.
I thought that they.
So we did want to present this gavel to Mayor Lowell Hurst at his last formal meeting as mayor, and just to thank him for his extensive and remarkable leadership that he's demonstrated as mayor. I often received glowing reviews, for Lowell, saying, he's a very visible mayor, the most charismatic mayor in Santa Cruz County, the funniest mayor in Santa Cruz County. So it's just great to sort of honor him today and thank him for his leadership. And I also wanted to just thank him for demonstrating that public service can be fun. And as well, just thank him for his commitment that he has demonstrated to our community here in Watsonville. He's always reminding us that in this valley of abundance, every person, every child, every teen should have the opportunity to also access that same abundance. So just thank you very much, Lowell, for all of your leadership.
Well, thank you very much. I think I have a set of these now. Thank you very much. It's an important symbol of the office, and I'm certainly honored and pleased to have represented the city as mayor this last year. It's been a tumultuous year in many ways. We had to deal with a lot of difficult financial conditions and a number of other things as well. But we'd made it through, and thank you all for the teamwork and the cooperation and the love that I felt. It's a great historic moment, and let's proceed with our agenda. What do you say?
Mr. Mr. Mayor, Mr. Mayor, while you're on your way up, may I comment really briefly?
Why not?
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. I too would like to thank you for your service to our community. Mayor Lowell Hurst he's a Renaissance man. He has a very good sense of what's right and what's wrong. He's been a teacher to hundreds, if not thousands, of young people here in the city of Watsonville. Your leadership has been provided a great example for many others to follow throughout the generations. And Lowell is one of the few that has a black and white and a color picture in the lobby. So
That is kind of symbolic, isn't it?
that's before and after the internet or something to that effect. You're a class act, and we want to thank you for your service. And many people don't realize that as mayor that you made the rounds up and down the county, throughout the state, up to Sacramento, and advocated on our behalf for the betterment of our community. So I'd like to thank you again, sir. It's an honor and a pleasure to be a colleague of yours. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. It is a wonderful experience for me, certainly, and to be able to represent such a fine city with so many fine citizens and so many good things happening in this community that often get kind of blocked out or the image gets a little roughed up around the edges, but there's great things happening in Watsonville, and we're looking forward to even better times and better ways to do things in the community. And so it certainly has been my pleasure and honor and the feeling that I have for the community remains in the community. And even though I may be sitting down there on the end, I'm still going to try and be as active in the community as I can. And fortunately, I'm retired, so I have a little more time than some others. And it's been very pleasant representing such a fine council.
I just want to say also a couple words to Mr. Mayor, if you give me the opportunity. It's been a pleasure seeing you this year, leading us along the way. You inspired a lot of people. You've been everywhere, whether it was in the school, shopping, at every event that you can remember. But I still keep saying, "Where's your clone?" Because you were everywhere for our community, and it really showed how your love for the community. So I want to thank you on behalf of everyone.
Well, you're certainly welcome. They did find me in the supermarket quite often. I can't believe what people tell me over the zucchini. So maybe I'll get a break in the supermarket now, too.
I think there's also plenty of opportunity if anybody in the public would like to say some words about Lowell. Mayor Hurst.
I don't see anything on the agenda that includes that, but we'll let anybody speak that wants. Anyone wishing to address the council, please do so.
Well, as your state assemblyman, I wanted to come up and really thank the fine service of Mayor Lowell Hurst over the last year. Almost everywhere event that I was at or my staff was at, Lowell was there being a great ambassador for the city of Watsonville, not only within the city limits, but even beyond. And I really want to thank you because you really demonstrated a great type of leadership that should be emulated by everyone in this community and on the council, but also being somebody who's passionate about education, able to work with all different ethnic groups that make up this beautiful community that we live in, and really having a lot of passion and love for the people that you're serving. So Lowell, on behalf of the state legislature, I want to thank you for your fine service to California and to Watsonville.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for those fine remarks. Where were all these nice people when they were talking smack at me, though, huh? Go ahead, Joseph.
Well, I've never done that, Mayor Hurst, and I thank you for your very radiant, beaming countenance, and also, pardon me if it's somewhat partisan, but during the phone banking, you hung in there to the very last minute. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. I'm I'd like to be known as a tireless champion and a tireless campaigner. Thank you all. Now's the time on our agenda.
Got one more?
Do we have some more? Now we're going to hear the truth, huh?
No. Daniel Dodge Jr., for the record. I just wanted to say thank you, Lowell. You've always been an excellent city council member and mayor, but you've also done a lot for our community as a teacher. For a long time ago, when I was at Minty Y, that's where I met you. Wendy, Marcos, and Lexi. I don't know if that's how she calls it nowadays. But just thank you for your service as a teacher. Even when we were in high school, moving on to high school, you know, you've done a lot, and you never really asked for anything in return. So I'd just like to say thank you, Lowell.
You're certainly welcome. Thank you. You know, I did collect a paycheck from him for a long, long time.
Good afternoon. I didn't want to walk away without telling you how thankful I am with Mr. Councilman Hirsch, Mayor Hirsch. You know, I lived in Watsonville 31 years, and I met a lot of wonderful men here that are very good leaders in this community. But you're in my book. It's one of my favorite leaders here in Watsonville that have done so much. You give of yourself to others. You know, you participate in everything you can participate in. You always are part of the community in one way or another. You don't try to make any difference with anybody. You always are the same Hirsch, no matter where you're at. And I just wanted to say how thankful and grateful I am for all your wonderful help that you have given it to Watsonville and to my family. Thank you so much. You're wonderful men. Okay.
Very kind of you to say. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Buenas noches.
Now it's going to get good.
Oscar Rios, Mayor Lowell, and Council. It's so nice, right, to look back in 1989 and now 2013, and what a difference. 89, when we came in, devastated the town after the earthquake. And look at now. I mean, it's such a beautiful place. But to stand here and to see this council and to see all of you here, it's looking at history that we never thought we were going to see in 89. And to see you here, Mayor Hertz, having fun, you know, and hearing that you've been going up and down the state representing the city, it just feels real good that you can have fun in politics. Even though, you know, it's up and down and we get a lot of criticisms, but to do something for a town that you love, I think is really great. And I, you know, especially am proud that you decided to come back, because I know you didn't want to come back. I know you did not. But I'm glad you came back, and people that were able to talk to you to come back, I'm really glad for all of that, and for your district and for the city. I think that we got a lot more to go forward, and for all the whiners and out there, let them run. Let them run. Let them come and see and what it takes. So keep on the good work. Muchas gracias. Sigue fuerte. Adelante.
Igualmente. You know, I was just thinking of Oscar today. In fact, I was reviewing some of the tapes of previous council meetings just to make sure that I was living in the right dimension, and some of them were from a century ago or in the last century. But I did see Oscar on some of the tapes, and I was very pleased, and certainly pleased to see you here this evening. You know better than anyone the joys and difficulties of council work and being a mayor in this fine city. So thank you for coming this evening, and thank you for your kind remarks as well. Now, before my head gets any bigger, is there anybody else that wants to say a few words? Because we do want to move on with our activities here this evening. Councilmember Hernandez.
I'll keep it brief. You know, Mayor, I just want to say that I really appreciate all the mentoring you've done. You always return my calls when I texted you, but you called me back saying you don't have text.
You're right.
I'd write these
So don't anybody waste their text on me, okay?
I'd write these long texts and get a call back. I didn't get it. Tell me over the phone. But you've always kept meetings entertaining, and always mentored me as a new council member as well. Whoever fills your shoes is gonna have some big shoes to fill. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. I am a guy of the last century, and so I haven't really caught on to all the technological improvements. So for all those people who did text me, it wasn't I was ignoring you. I just didn't get the text. Hard to believe, isn't it? Okay. Let's move forward. We're going to go to item 8.2. This is the election of mayor, and we'll have a staff report, a nomination period that's prescribed by our past practices. We'll have an opportunity for public input, and then we'll have discussion and comments from the council, and then a resolution and a vote electing the mayor. So let's have the process and procedures spelled out very clearly so that that could be part of the permanent record and everyone will know.
Mayor, council members, I will be conducting the meeting until the mayor and vice mayor are elected. The process I am recommending to elect the mayor and mayor pro temp, as outlined in the staff report, is the same one that council has agreed to abide by in the past, and it is as follows. I will ask each council member who wishes to nominate a fellow council member for mayor and mayor pro temp to raise their hand. If there is more than one nomination, I will place cards with the numbers beginning with the number 1 in a basket and ask each council member who raised their hand in alphabetical order to draw a card. The council member drawing the card with the number 1 will state their nomination. The council member drawing the card with the number 2 will state their nomination, and so on. If there is only one nomination, I will close the nomination period and ask if there's any public comment and council discussion. I recommend the public comment be limited to 2 minutes per speaker. After the close of public and council comments, I will ask the council member with the number 1 to introduce a resolution electing their nominee as mayor, and then ask for a second to that motion. The roll call will then be taken alphabetically starting with member Bilicic and concluding with member Montesino. If there are 4 or more yes votes, that nominee is elected mayor, and there is no need for further votes. Will I now have a motion to approve the above process to elect the mayor and mayor pro temp?
I'll motion it. Do we accept that?
Second that.
I have a motion by member Kaufman Gomez and a second by member Montesino. I will now take roll. Bilicic?
Yes, that's the process now until we end up with our petitions. Thank you.
Cervantes?
Yes.
Kaufman Gomez?
Yes.
Dodge? Yes. Hernandez?
Yes.
Hurst?
Yes.
Montesino?
Yes.
Will each member wishing to nominate a council member for mayor pro tempore for mayor please raise their hand? 4 of you. Give me just a second. Member Dodge, which number do you have?
2.
Member Hernandez, which number do you have?
1.
Mayor Hurst, which number do you have?
I have number 3, just like my district.
Like my district, too.
And Member Montesino, which number do you have?
4.
Just like his district.
JFK.
Member Hernandez, please state your nomination.
I would like to nominate Karina Cervantes for mayor.
Member Dodge, please state your nomination. Mayor Hurst, please state your nomination.
I would also nominate Karina Cervantes as mayor.
And Member Montesino, please state your nomination.
I would also nominate Karina Cervantes.
I have 3 nominations, all for Mayor Pro Tem Karina Cervantes. Member Hernandez nominates Karina for mayor. Mayor Hurst nominates Mayor Pro Tem Karina Cervantes for mayor. And Member Montesino also nominates Karina Cervantes for mayor. This is a time for the public to comment on this item. If you have anything to say, please do so at this time. You have 2 minutes.
Ron Cheshire, Monterey Santa Cruz Building Construction Trades Council, but someone that's lived sort of across the bay from you for quite a long time, almost 58 years in Monterey. Before I move on with my statement, I would like to say, Mayor Hurst, I honor you for your service as an educator and for what you've done for this community. Plus, you have given me several moments of interesting thought. I always wondered what Guy Fieri was going to look like as he got older. But on behalf of the Monterey Santa Cruz Building Trades Council and myself, I wish to say that we have relations with many cities, governments, agencies, and such throughout the Monterey Bay Area. But this council, all of you, work well together. And I think you have done best for your community. Your passion for the people of this area is unique. I'm glad to see that someone is being nominated that has a deep passion for the people of this area. She's intelligent. In our conversations, she has listened. She doesn't do a lot of talking. She listens. And she's very thoughtful in her deliberations. And I don't think you could do any better at this time. I think all of you will ultimately, as some of you have already had your chance as being a mayor, and some of you will in the future. But this is an excellent choice of an individual, and we certainly would support this. So thank you very much, and we're looking forward to working with you and your community, because this community, above all, seeks a balance. We deal with a lot of other communities that say, we've got to do something for business. We've got to do something for people that have lots of money. We've got to do something for the rich. We've got to do something for those that already have. Not this council. This council is doing things for the people of this community. And that's the best thing that can be done. And I don't think that you could come up with a better person to lead you at this time. So thank you very much.
Good evening, Pedro Castillo, 7 Winding Way, District 4. I knew Karina even before I officially met her from my colleagues at the university from the psychology department, who told me that they had this very bright, hardworking graduate student, who, by the way, will soon finish her dissertation. I was able to work with Karina when she was a member of the Planning Commission, as 2 or 3 others who also are on the council were on the Planning Commission. And her professors were correct. She is very bright, hardworking, committed to Watsonville. You cannot do wrong by having Karina as your next mayor. So I strongly support, and I might say that District 4 supports Karina for selection as mayor. Thank you very much.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Dulce Sixtos, the City Attorney in the Watsonville Youth City Council. First, I would like to thank the Watsonville City Council for their support, and I am especially thankful to Karina Cervantes for representing Latinas in politics. I've had the opportunity to develop a mentorship relationship with her, and she's someone who I identify with. I am glad that soon-to-be a Latina mayor will represent Watsonville because it will show diversity. It makes me proud to know that by having a Latina mayor, she will open doors for other women interested in politics. I am looking forward to partnering up in future collaborations with our new mayor, and thank you.
Good evening, council members. I am Berenice Valentin, Vice Mayor and City Clerk from the Watsonville Youth City Council and District 2 resident. This summer, I was honored with the privilege of meeting and working with Karina Cervantes, and she's an example of a strong, smart Latina politician. She has demonstrated strong leadership skills, and I believe she has the potential to lead Watsonville in the right direction. I support Karina for mayor.
Good evening, members of the council and city staff. My name is Angelica Lopez, and I am here with great love and excitement to support my good friend and colleague at UCSC, Karina Cervantes. Upon meeting her, I couldn't stay away. One of the first things that I noticed is that she's a very effective community and bridge builder. After spending countless hours with her in the computer lab, in the classroom, and with her just simply writing, she was always able to stay grounded. She stays true to who she is and uses her experiences on the foreground of her research, teaching, and civic leadership. Even when just hanging out, she contributes to the creation of a very enhanced and mind-blowing intellectual climate, just in our very own group. This woman is definitely not afraid to speak up, but most importantly, it doesn't stop with just words, as a lot of her words get translated into into practice and action. For example, upon being sworn in just last year to the council and as mayor pro tem, she wasted no time to tackle on the issues that she sought out to focus for her term. For example, just several weeks ago, she held the first local event here locally in the community to help educate us on the Affordable Care Act. She co-hosted an event to bring city professionals together to engage in dialogue on how to move Watsonville forward. And she's consistently at events speaking to and engaging youth and women on how to further their studies and how to take on leadership positions. For example, with the wonderful presentation that she gave at the Girl Rising film screening and on the Glass Ballot event, which focused on training women to hold more positions in politics. Not only is she helping move Watsonville forward locally, but she's also representing this community with much integrity at the state and national level through her training, participation, and leadership in different organizations. For example, the California League of Cities, the Young Elected Officials, the National Association of Latino Elected and Appointed Officials, and this work helps put Watsonville in conversation with others on different issues affecting us both at the state and national level. Karina, as a producer and disseminator of knowledge, has experience teaching at the community college, the Cal State, and the UC system, where she recently received university-wide recognition for her excellence. Karina is fully capable and armed with experience and knowledge to take on her role as mayor, and I hope we can count on your support to support us as community members to make this happen. So thank you.
Is there anyone else wishing to speak on this item?
I have to say something here tonight because I'm so proud of this, to see this special moment come to fruition. I'm here to share a few words about my beautiful wife, Karina Cervantes. Certainly, I'm kind of nervous speaking as well, and even though I've spoken plenty of times, but I'm here to just offer my support for the smartest person I know, the love of my life, and I have to say that my best proposal till this day has been asking her to marry me on the floor of the state legislature. Fortunately, my proposal was not vetoed on that day, but certainly has made my life much better. But I really wanted to come just share a few words because I do think Karina is certainly best equipped and fit to lead the city, and certainly has demonstrated her ability to work with a lot of different sectors of this community. She certainly has demonstrated to be a consensus builder, being able to work with a lot of different sectors and important aspects of our community. But more importantly, I think Karina has a remarkable story. A daughter of farm workers who came to this country as immigrants, grew up in a small town of Terrebonne in the Central Valley, a small town, an economically disadvantaged community of only a little over 3,000 people. But her parents, till this day, with all their sacrifice and work, put their dreams in their daughter, who went off to school at UC Santa Cruz, where she received her BA and her master's degree, and soon to finish her doctorate degree. They couldn't be here tonight because they're working out in the Central Valley, picking grapes and working in the orange packing sheds. But I'm sure they would be so proud to see their daughter tonight. But also, I think Karina has demonstrated to be a real strong advocate for the people of District 2, one of the poorest districts in Watsonville, but also hardworking people, a hard and dedicated group of people in her district. But also, I think tonight is destined to be a historic one because it was Karina, as some people mentioned, would only be the second Latina ever to serve as mayor of the city. And the first being Ana Ventura Fares, who became mayor of this community back in 2004 and 2005. But even before that, the first woman to ever decide, Latina, to ever decide to run for city council was a person who's no longer here, Dolores Cruz Gomez, who ran for city council twice. And although she never won, she paved the way and laid the foundation for so many of us. And I think it's a fulfillment of that hard work, not only Cruz Gomez, but also Councilmember Oscar Rio and many others who have paved the way for people like Karina to be able to serve in leadership capacities in our city, where at one time it was impossible. Thank you very much.
Good evening, council members. My name is Lisette Guisar, and I will keep this brief because I'm pretty much going to be echoing what everyone else is saying today. I think that Ms. Karina Cervantes, she's an intelligent, brilliant individual who has shown great leadership in just the year that she's been in the council, and I think she will make a great representative for the city. She loves the city, works really hard for the city, and I think she's going to make a great representative. So I would like to show my support for Ms. Cervantes for mayor. Thank you.
Oscar Rios, everything that's been said here, I agree. But I want to also share the first time I met Karina. And I knew she was going to be great because I met her at the Spot Fitness dancing. And she was dancing, and she was shaking it. And I figured, this lady, she's a good dancer. later on, of course, we met during the politics, and I really appreciated when I asked you to run for and to be my commissioner in the planning. And I think since then, all that we hear now, I mean, and I didn't know all this stuff about you. All I knew is that you were dedicated and that you want to do things for the community, for the people of the city. And I think it has shown, and by the testimonies of people here tonight, it's just, I think it's showing that we had a good selection, that when your name came up and you were suggested to be my commissioner, and I listened to that, and you accepted it, and then you went and ran for council, and you won in District 2, especially in District 2. I think like we were saying, between District 1 and District 2 are some of the districts here in the downtown that are still, going through some tough situations. We know that we have throughout the whole city some bad stuff going on, but these two districts, particularly downtown, have always been very rough, very poor, and it's more where most of the workers and field workers live. And if we see these two districts, we have houses behind houses behind houses, people living behind. So we know there's a tremendous need in these two districts to improve the situations. And I know that we couldn't have a better leader than you, and I'm just really proud that you are here, that you will be our mayor, you will be great. And again, for all those other people that are out there, I just tell them, run. You had your choice last time. Why didn't they run? They ran away. They didn't come and run for a position. So, and some of these folks that are out there, they were appointed. We appointed them. I supported them. So anyway, with that, I just want to say thank you, and I'm so proud of you.
I just wanted to show my support also for Karina Cervantes. I think Karina is the perfect person to be mayor at this time. As some of the people have mentioned here, she's already started in taking that leadership role. As we've seen, people in this community have been telling us, well, we can't do this or we can't do that. I believe Karina gives us the mindset of the direction we need to take. Okay, well, why can't we? Why can't we do this? Why can't we do that? Instead of having that mindset, she brings this, well, what can we do to fix the situation? Karina has a lot of support from different types of people all over Watsonville, young, old, black, white, and as the assembly member said, I believe this is a historic night too, and I'm happy because I brought my daughter here today to see that anybody can be anything that they want. And then I think Karina exemplifies that when you put your mind to something, no matter how poor, how rich, where you're from, that you could achieve anything. So, sí se puede con Karina. And my daughter Mitzel says, Louis loves Karina.
Hello, I'm Dr. Lupe Rivas, school board member, trustee, and I would like to add my support for Karina Cervantes. I know her as a colleague. I campaigned with her and have had projects with her, and I think she's a great person for the job. She has shown really intelligent and to be intelligent and follows through, and that is really important, especially when you're in a position of mayor. She will be a good representative for us, and best of all, she is one of us, and I really am proud to say that she will be a good mayor. Thank you.
Good afternoon again. I couldn't walk away without saying that I do recommend my own daughter-in-law, Karina Cervantes Alejo. But before I go on and say anything about anybody else, well, she's my daughter-in-law, so I have to say, well, I'll go for her. But I've got to say before I go any further and talk a little bit about her, that each one of you here, Felipe, Mr. Dodge, I can't say your last name.
Montesino.
Yes,
Montesino.
and I know almost every one of you. I know Bilicic, Mr. Hirsch. I know that all of you guys have done a great job. You know, I have to say that I think each one of you all can really be good leaders and be up there too. You know, I can't say you haven't done a good job because I've seen you work in the community so hard. I know a lot of you for a long, long time. I know that all of you can do it. I know Miss Bilicic, since she was in school, her mother was my PE teacher. You know, I know Danny Dodge. I work with Danny Dodge. I used to be the commissioner for Latinos here in this city also. I serve the Latino community. I work for the community also. I know Mr. Hirsch from way back. And I know Danny Dodge, all the work he did. And I know a lot of community people here in this community that had done a lot of work for all of us. But at this time, I have to recommend Karina, not only because she's my daughter-in-law, but I know her and my son work very hard. I don't see them because they're so dedicated to the people. You know, I go over their house, I'm on my way to the meeting. If it isn't Karina, it's Luis, and I'm barely getting there, and they're saying, I have a meeting to go, you know. And you know, sometimes we don't get to see them because they are very dedicated to the people. And that's what we're supposed to do. When we are leaders, we're supposed to be very dedicated to the people. They no longer belong to me. They belong to you. They belong to the city. Whatever they do, it's because they're going to serve the people of this community and the people of the state of California. You know, and I came to the conclusion that that's the way it's going to be, you know. And I just want to recommend Karina because I know she's very hardworking and very intelligent, and I know that she can lead the people of Watsonville as a mayor. Thank you so much.
Hola, mi nombre es Carla Samarripa y nomás quiero decir que estoy muy orgullosa de Karina, que no pueden equivocarse con elegirla como mayor de Watsonville. Ella define comunidad y I'm very proud of you. That's all I can say. Thank you.
Is there anyone else wishing to speak on this item?
Some of us are reminiscing here this evening.
It'll be just
Oscar.
a second, sir. They're going to do the translation really quick. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Carla Samarrica, and I'm proud to know Karina Cervantes, and I recommend her for mayor. And I also want to say that she really defines what Watsonville. She really defines what Watsonville stands for.
And some of us are reminiscing this evening here, and I might as well do the same. Oscar, let's make some clarifications. The reason nobody else ran is because they knew you don't run when you have the best. There's no need to. And Karina, you've done a great job as pro tem, and you'll be a great mayor. I know Mr. Hurst is not looking forward to that because you'll make him look like Mr. Hurst, which is a good thing. And I just want to say, I've lived in the community a long, long time, maybe too long, and I too never thought, I'd see this day. Sometimes I think, wow, am I dreaming? This has finally come about. For some of us in the audience here, we were around when there was the old city council and the old way of doing business, which was not beneficial to this community, never has been, and it will never be, and we won't ever see it come back. And so I just want to applaud the city council that we have here today, and let's move into the future. And just to give you an idea of the future, I first met Karina. We were setting on a commission together to name some schools, and we successfully named one after a great labor leader, Cesar Chavez, and Karina was right there. I want to thank you. Thank you.
Buenas noches, mi nombre es Quirino Vázquez, presidente del Club Migrantes de Club Migrantes de Michoacán, y vengo a darle mi apoyo a Karina. Las pocas veces que he estado de conocerla, ha demostrado su sensibilidad hacia la gente, especialmente para los hispanos, especialmente para la gente mayor y para todo el que lo necesita. Mi apoyo para ella. Gracias.
My name is Quirino Vasquez. I represent the Migrant Club of Michoacan, and I want to thank Karina for which I know, and I think that she definitely is going to represent all Hispanics and all in Watsonville.
Are there any other speakers wishing to speak at this time? If there was no one else wishing to speak, I'll bring it back for council discussion. Member Dodge?
I'm going to be supporting this motion for Karina Cervantes for mayor this evening. I too would like to really briefly, I brought back my nomination because I thought I was sort of seconding the nomination by not having a nomination, so let that be noted on the record at that point. This is a very historical evening. This is about our community's destiny. This is, Ms. Cervantes is representing those changes that were started 23, 24 years ago, almost 30, when my good friend Robert Chakanaka ran for mayor. And it was one of the cases that was a basis for a lawsuit to be able to challenge the at-large election system here in the city of Watsonville, and was used throughout the state of California to be able to change the face of government in municipalities throughout the state of California. There were some that feared way back in 2004, 2005, that feared naming a school after a great labor leader who was honored by the President of the United States with the highest award that could be bestowed upon a citizen of this country. There was fear of the first Latina mayor, a former council member, Ana Ventura Fares, herself a child of immigrants, a child of farm workers, to be the first mayor, Latina, woman, Mexican-American, to be named to lead the city. Ms. Cervantes has worked her way through higher education. She will be the second woman on this council to have a doctorate, Dr. Nancy Bilicic being the first. Unless I left out somebody else, but I don't mean to, you know. She worked her way through higher education. She worked her way with her community, in the community with young folks. I'm sorry, Karina, I don't remember meeting you. I just always knew you in my life, kind of thing. But I believe it was around the time that you worked with young people and mentoring them in the Community Restoration Project. And I always thought that you were an example to young women. And you're going to be a great example for the young women in our community. They've expressed it themselves today. I also think that this is really the American dream, the American story, where a child of people that immigrate to this country, hardworking folks, farm worker folks, they're able to have their children lead a municipality, the largest city, oh, well, almost, in the state and county of Santa Cruz. When I became involved in the Chicano movement, yes, it's true. When I became involved in the Chicano movement, it was a movement about self-determination. It was a metamorphosis of a people. We only dreamed of what we thought was potential political power. But what I've learned in that time period from then until now is that the power in a political system or a religious system or military systems, those are authoritarian systems. They have power, but that's not the reality. The power of our intelligence, our individuality, and our collective thoughts in a clear, coherent manner, that's the power of people. That's the power of community. And I know you're going to lead us along that way, Karina, and while I'm supporting your nomination for the mayor, si se puede. Gracias.
Is there any other council members wishing to speak at this time? Seeing no further discussion, will Member Hernandez entertain a motion to elect Council Member Cervantes as mayor? Is there a second?
I'd second that.
A motion by Member Hernandez, seconded by Member Hurst, to elect Member Cervantes as mayor. I will now take roll. Bilicic,
Yes.
Cervantes,
Yes.
Kaufman Gomez,
Yes.
Dodge,
Yes.
Hernandez,
Yes.
Hurst,
Yes.
Montesino.
Yes.
The motion passes. Congratulations, Mayor.
Here, I have a gavel for you.
We will now continue with the election of Mayor Pro Temp. May I have the council members who wish to nominate a member for Mayor Pro Temp raise their hand. Three? Cervantes. Four?
Were there four?
Mayor Cervantes, which number do you have?
Number 1.
Member Dodge, which number do you have?
Number 2.
Member Hurst, which number do you have?
Once again, I have the lucky number 3. I hope I'll be that lucky in the next election.
And Member Montesino, which number do you have?
4. What do you know?
Mayor Cervantes, please state your nomination.
Sure. I am nominating one of our fine veterans here from the city of Watsonville and a native-born, longtime resident for the city of Watsonville, Felipe Hernandez, for vice mayor.
Member Dodge, please state your nomination.
So I understand the process. Am I seconding the motion by making the same?
We're not seconding anything at this time.
I nominate Felipe Hernandez for the vice mayor of the city of Watsonville.
Member Hurst, please state your nomination.
Yes, I too nominate Felipe Hernandez as Mayor Pro Tem.
And Member Montesino, please state your nomination.
Member Hernandez.
So I have 4 nominations, all for Member Hernandez. Mayor Cervantes nominates Member Hernandez. Member Dodge nominates Member Hernandez. Member Hurst nominates Member Hernandez. And Member Montesino nominates Member Hernandez. Now is the time for public comment. Is there anyone wishing to speak on this item?
I rise to speak again tonight on the nomination of Felipe Hernandez because, like with my wife, these are people I care about and I love and I've known and worked for a very long time. Felipe Hernandez, as was mentioned earlier, is a decorated war veteran, earned the Bronze Star during the first Persian Gulf War. Even though I've known him for such a long time, I didn't even know that important fact about his life until last year, because that's how veterans are. They don't talk about their decorations, they only serve, and they're proud to serve their country and their community. Felipe Hernandez and I met almost 20 years ago when we were community college students at Gavilan Community College in Gilroy. We began organizing this community together as young teenagers, as young organizers, shortly after the tragic deaths of Jessica and George Cortez in Pajaro. And from that effort of trying to reduce violence and gang and domestic violence, we went on to work on bringing more affordable housing to our community, better jobs, better schools, and we've been serving our community ever since then, going off to college but never forgetting to come back and serving these leadership roles. But I did want to point out that this process of selecting mayor and the vice mayor has been in place since 1989 as part of a federal court consent decree by the federal court in the Ninth Circuit District that laid out a process in which this city council would select its mayor and vice mayor. And it's been the tradition ever since then. And I think it's the most democratic form of choosing a mayor and vice mayor in our representative democracy. Each council member represents over 7,000 people in this fine community. And just like the dozens of issues that come before the city council at every single meeting, year after year, you vote on behalf of your constituents, the people that you represent, and that's no different than the vote that you all take tonight. But to be a leader and to earn the votes to serve as mayor or vice mayor requires you to be a consensus builder, to find agreement, to earn the respect of your colleagues so that you can have the support to serve in the leadership role for this city. It's easy to always say no. It's a lot harder to find that consensus and find that agreement on tough issues that come before this community. And just because you don't get your way, I don't think it's justified to push for divisive and poorly thought out public policies to change the tradition that has been laid out by our federal court in a landmark voting rights case. I ask to support the nomination of Felipe Hernandez tonight.
Ron Cheshire, Monterey Santa Cruz Building Construction Trades Council. As I stated earlier, I am not a member of this community, but I do represent the people of this community. Many of your citizens are members of mine that I represent in the Building Construction Trades Council and throughout the labor movement. And I think tonight, something's been touched on that's very interesting is the fact that we're all immigrants. After all, even my folks came from a strange country far away. It's a place called Texas. And I was born in East LA of all places before coming to Monterey in '56. But the key thing that I said this evening in regards to your new mayor, Ms. Cervantes, is the fact is passion. And Mr. Hernandez and I have got to sit down and speak with one another. And he's a man of few words until you get him started. Then things change. And you see the passion there. You see the passion within him. The passion for the people of this community. You have a succession process, and I believe that Mr. Hernandez will serve this community well. And I agree with Assemblyman Alejo in regards to building consensus in the community. Saying yes, seeing what you can do is a lot better than saying no. Let's keep studying it. Let's look at something else. It's being able to move forward. That's what will build this community, is moving forward. And I think with somebody like Mr. Hernandez there, working along with the mayor and the council, you'll do well. So we support Mr. Hernandez for the mayor pro tem. Thank you.
Pedro Castillo, I'm here to support Felipe Hernandez for Mayor Pro Tem. I knew Felipe from working in a number of community organizations where he's widely well known. I also got to know him better when we both were on the library board for a few months before I went to the Planning Commission, and then Felipe joined the Planning Commission. Felipe always read the material, had critical questions for applicants and staff, was very thoughtful and insightful in his comments. So he's been in Watsonville. He is from Watsonville. He knows the community. He works with all the sectors of the community. He has worked his way up by serving on various commissions. He would be an excellent, and he will serve this community very well. So I strongly support Felipe for Vice Mayor for the city of Watsonville. Thank you.
Oscar Rios, I don't come very often here, but this is a good opportunity to speak a couple of times. I definitely support Felipe Hernandez to be the vice mayor. And I 100% agree with what Assemblymember Luis Alejo said. And I guess that's what I was trying to say when I said, let them run. But I definitely agree with the process and to continue on that. But I also want to share, that the reason that I'm here in Watsonville was because of the '85 strike that took place when those heroic workers in Shaw's and also Watsonville Canning, which we have some members over here, Gloria Betancourt and some of the neighbors of District 2, that they took part in that strike. It was also the mother of Felipe that was also part of that strike. And it was that heroic strike that changed this city. And that's how I came to the city. And I always tell the strikers, whenever I see them and they tell me, wow, you became mayor and council member and all this stuff, I tell them, it wouldn't have happened if it wouldn't have been for you. The changes that took place, also district elections, they were also a catalyst for that to happen. And it took some people to bring it forward and made it happen. And I think we're going to have to continue on the path, but I really believe that Felipe will be a great vice mayor because he's he's a member of this city, and he also has a compassion and the passion to represent the people of District 1 and the whole city of Watsonville. So congratulations, Señor Hernandez.
Hello, I'm Paula Hernandez. I'm Felipe's mother. I also support my son for being pro mayor. He's so committed. He really is. He's always on the go. Always, I have to go to a meeting. I have to go to a meeting. Are you going to have supper? I have to go to the meeting. So he's very committed. I just wish he was as committed to washing a few dishes now and then at the house. But he's very committed to the community. He's grown. He was born in Watsonville, and he's homegrown. The house that we live in is his first house ever. And that's the same house he lives in right now. Okay, thank you.
Good evening again, Council. My name is Lisette Guisad, and I would also like to support the nomination for Councilmember Felipe Hernandez to be our next Mayor Pro Tem. He is a very dedicated individual, and we know that, and we've seen that through his service to his country when he served in the military, and now his service to the community that he's serving for the community of Watsonville. He's a very dedicated individual. He works hard for us, and I think he will make a great Mayor Pro Tem. Thank you.
Man, third time here. I think I'm starting to sound like my dad, taking up all the airtime. But I'd also like to support the nomination for Felipe. Along with Karina, I think Felipe and Karina have the same vision for the city of Watsonville, whether it's working and continuing Watsonville forward. Felipe has taken an active role in the birding festival. So I think him along with Karina have the same vision, and I think together we all could follow that vision. Go for Felipe's.
Are there any other speakers wishing to speak at this time? If there is no one else wishing to speak, I'll bring it back for council discussion. Member Montesino?
Yeah, I'd like to say a couple things about Councilmember Felipe. He's been an asset, I know, to our council. he's guiding us along the way. 'Cause sometimes we got to talk about things, and he always has very thoughtful things to say. And considering that we're gonna have a mayor and an adjacent council member, or mayor pro temp, we're gonna focus on the downtown. Everybody speaks to us about the downtown. They want us to focus on the downtown, whether it be the shopping, the attractions, the events, more businesses. We need there's a good group to work on the downtown. They're adjacent. They represent the downtown area. So I believe they'll do very well, work very well for the community. Thank you.
Member Dodge.
I too am supporting the nomination of Felipe Hernandez for Mayor Pro Tem in the city of Watsonville. I think it's been mentioned, but I really think it's something that really needs to be said, that my good friend Councilman Hernandez is a 2 times Bronze Star award winner, veteran. Desert Storm, I believe, he served our community overseas. I think that when we talk about members of our community and how they strive for a better life, Felipe has been an example of that. He's a former Watsonville Wildcat. Eduardo and myself, we're immigrants. We're from Santa Cruz High.
Import.
Import. Felipe, as in a leadership role, has mentored and guided young people in a positive lifestyle and manner to where they have groups that he's been involved in, that those young people have gone on to seek higher academic education, leadership roles in this community and throughout the state of California. He has also worked as a representative for the people, for working class people for many, many years across the United States. And I think that I wanted to echo what Eduardo was saying in the sense that I've heard many voices say that they would like to work on the downtown, on the historical downtown. Both council members represent that downtown area. What better way than to have advocates for our downtown than to have the council members that represent those districts as advocates for that downtown area. Felipe Hernandez knows it well, and he's resided in the downtown area almost all of his life. So I think that this is a very good choice. This is a natural choice for those that want to sit back and be armchair quarterbacks and talk about what could be done. Felipe has taken the public role and as a servant of this community to be able to go and do what needs to be done. And I'm supporting Felipe Hernandez for the vice mayor of the city of Watsonville. Thank you.
Member Hurst.
Yes, I too concur with the voices that we've heard. A veteran of the armed services, a decorated veteran of armed services, and a decorated veteran of the downtown as well. And so here we are going to focus on the downtown with two reps. I'm calling them the Downtown Dynamic Duo.
I like it.
A T-shirt's made.
Any other council members wishing to speak at this time? Seeing no further discussion, will Mayor Cervantes, entertain a motion to elect Councilmember Hernandez as Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes, I will move that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
He does dishes with the ordinance.
Oh, yeah, that's the caveat.
A motion by Mayor Cervantes, seconded by Member Dodge, to elect Member Hernandez for Mayor Pro Tem. I will now take roll. Bilicich?
Yes.
Cervantes?
Yes.
Kaufman Gomez?
Yes.
Dodge?
Yes.
Hernandez?
Yes.
Hurst?
Yes.
Montesino?
Yes.
The vote passes. Congratulations, Mayor Pro Tempore Hernandez. I will now turn over the meeting to the new mayor, Mayor Cervantes, to continue with with the remaining items on the agenda.
Sure. So item 8.4 are comments from our newly elected mayor, which is myself. So I will go ahead and proceed with some of those comments now. I just want to thank all my friends and family that are here with me today, showing a lot of love and a lot of support. And it's really been because of you that I've been able to sort of persist and maintain my involvement in the community at the level that I have. So thank you again for your support. And providing that space for me to share with you some ideas and brainstorm, and providing some much needed feedback as well for moving forward on some of our work and ideas here on the council. There's also a number of people that couldn't be here with me today, but I really do want to extend a heartfelt thank you to them as well. My family, my immediate family, my brother, my sister, my nieces and nephews, who's just optimism really is the motivation that, you know, keeps a lot of us going. The imagination that children bring to our lives and the joy that they bring is just really important. And my nieces and nephews just, you know, are always there with their smiling faces, loving their auntie and giving me hugs when I need it the most. So I just really appreciate that from them. And for my mom and dad, of course, the distance was a little too far, and the work requires them to be at home and stay at home. They are still working in the fields, are still farm workers. But I do want to thank them for being, you know, one of my earliest teachers about compassion and being kind to everyone that you come across. For them, they journeyed hundreds of miles, left their own homes, left their own families to come here to the United States and search for greater opportunities. And I really hope that the way that I've lived my life has not been in vain for them in terms of their sacrifices and struggles that they provided. I also wanted to just highlight that with them, they shared stories with me where a lot of the times the kindness of strangers along the way, as they made their journey here to the United States, a lot of strangers sheltered them and fed them. And so they just always remind me to be that kind and compassionate to people that might be encountering a struggle at one point in their life. So it's really something, the empathy, the compassion that we bring in the work that we do as public servants that I want to emulate, and it's, you know, a lesson learned from my mom and dad. So I also want to thank my husband, Luis Alejo. You know, he's someone that is a champion in our community and works very hard. And he's always reminding me that it's about, you know, paying attention to and working hard for the most vulnerable among us. And I think it's also something, you know, a shared vision that we have for our community. And of course, many people have mentioned this, but I do stand on the shoulder of many giants. You know, Dolores Cruz Gomez, who was one of the first women, Latino women to run for office here in our community. And then later, you know, seeing the great amount of obstacles, entered a legal case that would allow us to have district elections. So it's really that legacy of struggle and Latina leadership that has paved the way for myself, paved the way for my predecessor, Ana Ventura Fares, to become the first Latina mayor here in our city, and paved the way for myself to follow. And then hopefully, you know, Berenice and Dulce will follow, as well as future Latina mayors as well. And this morning, I do just want to leave off, I want to be very brief, but leave off with the community assessment project, the hearings we heard this morning. They were very grim, painted a lot of, you know, existing disparities that still confront the Latino community here in Santa Cruz County, and also a lot of the disparities between North and South County, specifically the two largest cities, how different we find our circumstances and our situation from the city of Santa Cruz. But I think also that report did miss a lot of our strengths and contributions that we have of a city. And I think in this coming year, we're really gonna have to continue to build upon, you know, the momentum that the city does have in place currently. One is our continued sort of efforts to bring more livable paying wage jobs into our city and our community, revitalizing our downtown. I think one of the strengths that we have as a downtown is that, you know, the majority of our business owners downtown are Latino business owners. And according to the census, you know, we're double the rate of California in terms of having Latino-owned businesses, as well as we're comparable statewide to having women-owned businesses, which I think is really significant. So all of our downtown efforts need to work with our current merchants that are there now, and strengthening their capacity to do business and do business better. I also want to, highlight that I look forward to working with other community members, other community leaders. We do have a strong conservation efforts here in our county, expanding our trail lines, expanding our conservation efforts, and I also think it's important to pay attention to that, as well as, the significance that the agriculture industry does play in this region. And I think that that's significant because it's been a gateway for many of us. It was a gateway for my own family, to be able to provide greater opportunities for future generations. So with that, I'm just very honored to have the opportunity to serve in this position, and I love all of you here. Thank you. And next, we'll hear from our newly elected Mayor Pro Tem.
So I'll keep it short. I just really want to thank everyone here in attendance. Thank the council, city staff, the mayor for mentorship. And I want to say, I read the previous community assessment when I was going through the appointment process, and it became a lot of my basis for, what I was going to set my campaign, what my campaign was going to be about. And the key word back then was disparity in it, and it's the same thing this year's community assessment. It's the key word again. And ever since my initial appointment, both economic development and downtown revitalization has been and continues to be my mantra. During my first year of council, many in the community urged the council to focus on downtown. So immediately after the election, November, we began the process of the historic downtown revitalization, a process that's going to bring more economic vitality to our downtown. Our former mayor appointed me to that committee, as well as other council members, Mayor Pro Tem, Mayor Cervantes, and Trina, Councilmember Trina Kaufman Gomez. So it's gonna, the majority of downtown is, or the good portion of downtown is in District 1. So I want to say that I want to continue those efforts, build a safe and prosperous city, and just to continue that goal, as well as supporting our mayor and all the mayoral duties that she has, and helping her out with that duty. Thank you.
Great. And item 8.6, is any other comments from city council members? Yes, Mr. Montesino.
Just wanted to say it's great to be here in a great moment to elect a woman as mayor for next year. It's going to be a tremendous asset for because I know we have a lot of young Latinas. I know my daughter, Ciclali Montesino, is here because I wanted her to be here, but she slept because it's a school night, so she sleeps early. But I know Councilmember granddaughter is here. It's a historic moment because it's where you see a lot of young Latinas, and they need that leadership level that they see women in politics, women power, women in businesses. So it's great to see Ms. Cervantes is going to lead us this year. It's going to be a tremendous opportunity for us and for other young kids, and I hope everyone joins the community, joins us in celebrating this great duo that we're going to put forward in next year and focus on the downtown. Thank you.
Yes, Councilmember Hurst.
Last year, I closed out the meeting with an Oprah quote, Oprah Winfrey. But I wanted to go back a little further in time tonight, all the way back to AD 121 to 180 with Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius said, the universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. And so we're here for a change this evening. And it was Susan Rice that said, if you want change, you have to make it. If you want progress, you have to drive it. And Harold Wilson once said, he who rejects change is the architect of decay. The only human institution which rejects progress is the cemetery. And let me wrap up. James Gordon said, it's not that some people have willpower and some don't. It's that some people are ready for change and others are not. Let me pledge my support to both the mayor and the mayor pro tem. I'm glad to offer my assistance in any possible way I can. Thank you very much.
Any other comments from council members? Yes.
Just congratulations on the both of you and moving forward with our council. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Bilicic?
I would say the same. Congratulations to you and Felipe. And we'll move forward. Look forward to working with you.
Thank you. Councilmember Dodge?
I'd like to thank everybody for coming this evening and to be witness what democracy is all about. It's if you participate, you get to be able to enjoy the hard work that everybody's put into it. Those rewards are what's here tonight. That is a community that's able to walk up to that mic, speak for itself, see a result, and get out and go do the work. It will be quite the year. I look forward to it. On behalf of both of you, thank you very much for all those that aren't here this evening, Ravy Hill, Cruz Gomez, Barbara Garcia, all kinds of folks that really, really worked hard for this moment to happen. I thank all those that came before us and for all those that are coming after us. So thank you and good luck, Madam Mayor, Mr. Pro Tem.
Sure. And Councilmember Hurst?
If I could just thank Deputy Clerk Erwin Ortiz this evening, who's done a marvelous job here under very short notice and under, a lot of pressure and stress. We never know how the process is going to actually be implemented or how it's going to be said or rolled out. And so thank you very much, Erwin, for your work here this evening. I also want to thank our noble assistant, Roxanne Ibarra, for her getting out of her usual cubicle and zone this evening. So thank you both.
So
nice job.
As there was not any emergency items added to the agenda, we'll go ahead and adjourn our meeting. Thank you all very much.